Hi everyone, my name's Reid, and it's no coincidence that I'm into wetland plants as well. We're very lucky to live in a city like this with the beautiful Lane Cove River on one side and Middle Harbour on the other, but all the buildings, there's no slides by the way, it's just me, so sorry. All the buildings that we live in, with the roofs and the driveways and the roads that we need to drive around to get to places and the shopping centres that we do shopping in, change the way that water interacts with the earth and in the way that it flows into creeks and it flows into the waterways that we came here to live and enjoy. So what happens is the kinds of animals that we'd like to see living in wetlands and in the healthy waterways are getting washed away either by pollution or by the speed of the water coming out really fast, or sediment getting rid of the oxygen so they can't survive. So what we're trying to do as scientists and practitioners in environmental works is to come up with ways of improving that, so improving waterway health in general. Now, the best way that we found is to bring the solution to where the problem is. So back in the early 80s, we used to do things right down the end of the pipe, say a gross pollutant trap, a big rack that was catching bottles and rubbish, and it was a huge concrete structure and it had to be sucked out with a truck all the time. And that works okay, but wouldn't it be better if that stuff wasn't getting into the creeks in the first place? So at the source, which is where we are, which is our houses and where we hang out, what could we do to stop that happening? And one of those is environmental education and what these sorts of events are all about. And the other one is structural elements, but things that are using natural processes to help them work. And so that's what a rain garden is. And I've got a demonstration over there next to the bench, which I'll go and sit next to afterwards. You all right? You all right? And what they do is they mimic basically soil filtering water. And I've built about 600 of them so far, and Willoughby Council is just starting to get on board. I think we've got about 6 here. City of Sydney have 250 already, and they look like ordinary garden beds. They look just like that over there, or that over there, or that over there. But what happens underneath is that there's soils that are engineered and designed to filter at a certain speed and then drain away into perforated pipes so the water comes out clean. And when you look at the profile of the cross section that I've built over there, you'll see, and come with me later on, you'll see that there's a section of where the plants are, and all the sediments and the nutrients get into that first bit where all the roots, and the roots are working with all the microbes that hang around with the roots to convert those pollutants into non-toxic and more stable forms. And then all the sediment gets caught in that first section and it flows down to a gravel layer, which is the drainage layer, and into a pipe, and it comes out clean. Super simple stuff, and it doesn't cost that much more than just doing a normal garden bed. So we should be perhaps putting these into our own houses. So councils have done quite a lot, but the next step is to bring them into private property, because one of the issues with the council ones is that they need to be looked after a little bit differently to normal garden beds, and so the understanding of how that works isn't up there yet. And so some of them are getting too dry or too wet, getting too much sediment, too much pollution, not getting maintained very well. So what we'd like to see is to have them go into people's houses, even on roofs. You can put these, they're a structure that you can make into a green roof, for example. And councils just changed the development control plan so that you get trade-offs for all the other stuff that you're supposed to do for water management if you do this rain garden type of design. So it would be great to see these at every downpipe, instead of going into a bigger stormwater drain, going through a natural filter garden and then cleaned, and all the clean water will come out in the end. So that's basically the principle of what they are, and I encourage you to come and have a look at the model over the other side when you get a chance. Thanks very much.
Thank you.